Hey, welcome to the live, everybody. I know you guys slowly come on in. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, share the live out if you like. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel, especially if you enjoy the content. So come on in, hit the like button. And excuse me, let's get ready to do this overview. And we are, of course, reviewing, as the title says, The Haves and the Have-Nots Review Season 7, Episode 5. And if you are a fan of the show, feel free to drop out of the bushes, as I usually say. Drop out of the bushes. Don't just be a lurker. Feel free to, comment in the chat and let me know what you think about the last episode or any of the characters for that matter. But anyway, let's see. Where should we start tonight? I think I'm gonna let's start with Jeffrey and his father. Now, we know that Jim was in the hospital. We know that he was shot by by Wyatt, but come to find out, Wyatt shot him with the shotgun. We saw that he had shot him with the shotgun, but evidently it was duck hunting. Some duck hunting pellets or something like that. So, that, and on top of Wyatt, I don't know if he had bad aim or if he was just high or if I don't know, because Wyatt kept saying his dad is dead. He's telling his mom in jail behind bars, dad is dead, your husband's dead, I killed him, woo woo woo. But either he got bad aim or he really wasn't trying to kill him, because he shot him in the shoulder. We see that he shot him in the shoulder. His mom, he shot over her head. She thought she was from the reaction, she thought she was about to get shot. And so her quick reflexes, she just fell back into the tub. And so we seen her in the tub after he shot her. So that's why we assume that she was shot. But again, she was not shot. So Catherine survived. But she ended up being taken to jail. So while Wyatt is up there telling her, that Jim is shot, Jeffrey and his father, David, they go visit, Jim at the hospital. Kind of find out he's going to be all right. He survived the gunshot. He's not going to die. He just got hit in the arm by some goose pellets or duck pellets or something like that. But anyway, while Jeffrey was up in the hospital with his father, he had after it was time for him to leave and time for him to go, he saw Celine, ran into her. They were very cordial to each other. Unlike David and Celine, Jeffrey and Celine was very cordial to each other. And I don't know if that was a dig she was trying to take when she said, "Oh, you're so nice, and you're so, every time I see you, so respectful and charming and whatnot." And on the other hand, his dad, David, he's trying to get Celine the hell out of Dodge, out of the hospital. Did y'all catch that when he got her fired? I almost missed it. When him and Celine was going back and forth, David and Celine, and he was telling her, you need to leave the hospital because Jim and Celine is like oil and water. I mean, the only thing that she was good for Jim was to sleep with her. They had kids. He basically ignored the kids all their life. He gave her a little bit of money, every now and then he gave her a little bit of money. But other than that, he had nothing to do with them kids. So when she found out he was shot and could possibly die, she hurries up and try to rush and go see him. But David stopped her. And finally, one of the doctors, when they came out after telling him that Jim was going to be fine, he was like, should I write her up, because she really shouldn't be visiting patients because she work here. And she didn't quite understand, the procedure. When you work in a hospital, you just can't go around visiting patients without it being okayed by your supervisor. So he was like to David, do you want me to have her rolled up or something? He was like, how about fired? Now, he did warn her. Before that. He said, you could lose your job. She was like, it's okay if I lose my job. So now that she lost her job, we're going to see what happens. But I'm pretty sure Veronica is going to work with her. Like she told her weeks ago that she's going to work with her and try to get Jim to start paying his child support back, and maybe a little bit of medical, and some college, set up some college funds and things like that. But as far as right now, Selena probably lost her little old job, which she really needed, because that was her only income after Catherine fired her from being the head housekeeper. And then once she was under Hannah, she got fired again. So she needed that little hospital job, needed that little overnight gig. But oh well, she lost her job. Should have stayed in her place. But it's amazing the reach that these people have in this TV show. Like, for example, and then we're going to get back to David. But for example, when who was that? Mitch, when Mitch came to the hospital and he was with Candace and with Hannah, and they wanted to talk to Jim because of the fact that Jim, before he was shot, he had Hannah's son kidnapped and held for ransom or held hostage until Candace, gives back that $8 million, which she is not trying to do at this point. But anyway, the security guard wasn't going to let them in. Mitch, he always got to throw that Mahone around. Like, do you know, Mama Mahone, that is my grandmother. He was like, oh, okay, go ahead, go right in, go right in. It always worked. The Mahones or the Malones, my bad. Man, they ain't nothing to be played with in that little town it is. So he lets them in. Candace goes in there, slaps the taste out of Jim's, wakes him up out of his slumber, and asks where her brother is. Of course, he don't want to give her any information. He wants his $8 million back. Their mom, Hannah, I don't know what part she don't understand, that these people that's holding Benny hostage, you could get him $1 trillion, and they ain't gonna let Benny go. They ain't gonna let him go. They gonna kill him anyway. And that's what Candace and Mitch is trying to explain to Hannah. But Hannah really insists going to the police. She's concerned they're gonna kill her son. Candace don't want to give the money back. Jim told her, you know what? I got you. Ring, ring, ring. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Hannah was up there going crazy. Candace, on the other hand, she was like, I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you. And she just walked on out the room. So I'm pretty sure that they're not going to kill Benny at this point. But Candace got something up her sleeve. And I'm kind of starting to wonder. Remember when I had said, like maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, when she found out who her father was, and I said that since she wants to get to know her father and her father wants to get to know her, I have said that I do believe that he might come in handy. The father that she never knew all her life, the one that got her mother pregnant and then he got locked up and da-da-da-da. I was like, I think he's going to come in handy. And I really do. I know I might be reaching, but sometimes I'm usually right when I'm reaching. But I really think that Derek, might come in handy in this situation, but we shall see. Now, as far as back to David and Jeffrey, when Jeffrey was on his way out, he runs into his good friend, the nurse, Nurse Madison, Mr. Nurse Madison. For those of y'all who probably don't watch the show, we is not talking about no female. Jeffrey is full gay, all the way gay, no matter how much his mother tried to beat it out of him and force women on him and threaten him and disown him and all that. He's still full blown gay. And so is Nurse Madison. Now, Nurse Madison saw Jeffrey was about to leave, offered him a ride home. And who do you see lurking? It's on my thumbnail. Who do we see lurking around the corner? I was like, oh my God. And his father, David, walked right behind him. He said, don't you even think about it. Don't you dare think about it, because whatever my wife had done to you, and we already know what was done to him all up in through the jail. He was abused, taken advantage of, assaulted, beaten, and landed up in the hospital on a whole bunch of pain meds. So he's like, you think Veronica did something to you? Go after my son again and see what had happened. So anyway, we shall see, because I don't think he thinks the fat meat is greasy. And the thing about it is, he talking about you can't hurt me. Like, dude, you walking around the hospital in pain, doubled over, and left the hospital against doctors' wishes, and then came back to the hospital because you were in so much pain, and you talking about he can't hurt you. You still hurting right now. So he might want to beware, because I do think as evil as Veronica is, as vicious and malicious, and I still think David could probably get a lot more done to him, and Justin might end up losing his life messing around with David. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about that whole situation. Now, as far as Catherine, now, when Catherine landed up in jail, right across the way from Wyatt, they like several feet away from each other in different cells. He's up there antagonizing her, and just bugging the hell out of her, and blaming things on her as far as why her husband, he's dead, because Wyatt still. I'm like, is somebody not gonna let this boy in on the secret yet? Your daddy is not dead, Wyatt. He still thinks his father is dead. And I'm like, everybody on the show knows that Jim ain't dead except for Wyatt. So he's up there still antagonizing his mother. And she's like, you just really don't know. Like, you don't know who your parents are. You don't know how powerful we are, what kind of reach we have. And he was like, oh, yeah, you look powerful, all right, sitting over there on the floor, in the corner, balled up in the jail cell, a few feet away from my jail cell. But one thing she's right about in real life, too, some of the people that are very, very powerful, sometimes you look at them and you can't even tell. You wouldn't even know. Like, for instance, a lot of people might have heard of Warren Buffett, who he's not from Omaha, but his family moved to Omaha years ago when he was a very little boy, and he's one of the richest men on earth. And he, like, for as long as I can remember, has lived in the same humble home, humble house, humble neighborhood forever. People can go right up to his house on Halloween and trick or treat with their kids. I mean, he drives normal looking cars. He's not all boastful and around here just, stunting on people. He looks like a regular guy. When he goes to normal hole in the wall restaurants for breakfast and coffee, and you wouldn't even know if you didn't know him that's Warren Buffett. That's the millionaire, So that's why I said Catherine is right. Even in real life, a lot of the people out there who are very powerful, sometimes just by looking at them or walking past them, you don't know who them people know. So anyway, she telling her son, you don't even know how powerful your mother is. And I think he might want to find out. But anyway, now as far as, let's see who we're going to discuss next. Okay. As far as President-elect Charles, I'm trying to figure out what the hell is Oliver up to. Now, Oliver, he had the president-elect had replaced Landon with Oliver. Landon was just overstepping his boundaries with the president-elect Charles. He first of all, he's gay. The president-elect is not. He was in love with Candace. He had to let her go because of her image. She had a very, very bad image that, the people who were supporting him, they wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow it. Nope, gotta go. So and then Landon with him, on basically the president thought he had assumed that Landon played a part in Candace's image being, I don't want to say tainted, but basically the public got to know who the real Candace was. And he had blamed it on him. And then on top of that, him stepping over his boundaries, him always flirting with the president, trying to take his shoes off, rub his back. I mean, just all kind of stuff that Landon was trying to do to the president. And the president knew that he was interested in him, romantically. And he told him several times, I'm not the one. But he kept overstepping his boundaries. So he let him go. And then he brought in Oliver. Oliver, what is he up to? Like the fact that he wants to, Senator Thomas, he wants to come and meet and have a sit down with the president. And Landon, now that he's back, in the meantime, the president had him come back because he's not quite satisfied with the way Oliver is, running or handling his position. So he asked Landon to come back. But what do y'all think Oliver's up to with that Senator Thomas? Now, we know what the other senator is up to, Senator Conley, and I still can't believe, you know what? Okay, so y'all know who Senator Conley is, right? He used to play Elvin in the Cosby Show back in the day. And a few years back, maybe like a year or so back, somebody had posted a picture of him, and he was working at a grocery store, and people were making fun of him because he was sacking groceries. He used to be, well-known, popular on the TV sitcom, The Cosby Show, and people were making fun of him and dragging him all over social media because he was working at a grocery store. So what did Tyler Perry do? Tyler Perry came in. He offered that man a job. He put him right on the have and have nots, and bam, now we have Elvin, aka Senator Conley, on the have and have nots. Now, Senator Conley, what he had told the president-elect last week, put Candace out of your mind. You don't need her. She's horrible for your image. Find you somebody, if you want to, hook up with somebody, find you somebody that has just as much as you do to lose. Find you somebody who's married. Find you somebody who's in a relationship. Find you somebody who's very powerful. Find you somebody that has just as much to lose as you do. Then this week, he telling him, he trying to convince him that Candace didn't love him in the first place, because you can tell the president-elect Charles is still in love with Candace, and nothing they do, he knows all about her, every bad thing that she's done, conning men and hustling and, escort services. He knows about all that. What he didn't know was how Candace had stole that money from Kyle. That's what he didn't know. And Landon finally told him today, because Landon found out last week the real reason why Kyle, who was behind them putting Candace's background information out to the public, he found out why he had it in for Candace so bad. And it was because, remember, a long time ago, Candace had robbed him when she was doing her little escort and thing. She had robbed him. So now that the president-elect knows the real person who's behind it, and then he has the Senator Conley trying to tell him, stay away from Candace. She didn't really love you. She hoodwinked you too. Basically, she used you and she's conning you and all this. But the president-elect knows better. He knows better, but the senator is still trying to make it seem like he was being conned, and the president-elect swooped in like Captain Saberholt and rescued a damsel in stress. But that ain't how it happened. That ain't really how it happened. And he is still in love with Candace, and I think with the help of Landon, he's already started, putting it out in the newspaper, all the things that Candace, the horrible things that she's been through with her son being murdered and she been attacked and abused and all this, trying to make it seem like, she's not really that bad of a person, and trying to make the president-elect look like a hero, like he really did just swoop down like Captain Saberholt and uplift this young woman, this evil spawn. But she does have a lot of good things about her, and you can tell, especially when it comes to her brother. Right now she's willing to do anything to find out where Benny is and try to rescue him, and is not paying that $8 million right now to Jim Cryer. I don't know what Candace has up her sleeve, but she walked out of that room and she seemed pretty sure that she was doing the right thing, even though her mom Hannah was up there about to just have a hissy fit because Candace won't give her the money. But besides that, the bank wasn't open anyway, so she couldn't, wire the money at that time and moment. So we shall see next episode what can. Can, that's what I call my homegirl whose name Candace. See what can is up to. Let's see what else. Okay. As far as Veronica, now the DA, George, he had came to Veronica's house and informed her that Catherine had been arrested, that she was in jail and booked on murder charges for DA Jennifer Salazar. I keep saying her name wrong. Salazar. And he thinks that Veronica got the tea on that situation, on that murder. And if she works with him and hands Catherine over to them on a silver plate, he will make sure that Veronica doesn't go down for them thugs who broke into her husband's home and tried to kill her husband and Jeffrey. But Veronica, she's a little too smart for that. She's like, you ain't about to come up in here and tell me what I am and what I ain't gonna do. What you gonna do is turn your little butt back on around, because Veronica has a lot of stuff on a lot of people. But I am so desperately waiting for somebody to take this broad down, because she might have a lot of stuff on a lot of people, and she might have a long reach and, very powerful in that city or that county, I should say. But a lot of people have stuff on her as well. So we shall see what happens with that. Right now, Catherine, she's still sitting in a jail along with her son Wyatt, him facing attempted murder charges, Catherine facing murder charges. Jim is at the hospital, doped up on morphine. And all I was thinking when David was in there talking to him and Jim kept saying, push the button, give me some more morphine. I'm like, please don't let him become addicted to medicine, to pain pills like his son Wyatt. It was so funny. He was like, please just push the button, just give me a little bit more. David took that button. He was like, you don't need no more. You don't need no more. But yeah, as far as next week, I'm looking forward to seeing what how they're going to rescue Benny, if the money will ever get returned to Jim. And also I'm looking forward to seeing, now when we saw Justin storm out the hospital, the nurse was like, where you going? You came back because you were still hurt and in pain, and now you running out of here without seeing the doctor. And he was like, man, leave me alone. David told him, don't let him find out that he messing with his son Jeffrey. Otherwise, he gonna harm him. He gonna do far worse than what Veronica did to him. But you saw him storm out that hospital after Jeffrey and Nurse Madison. So that's gonna be pretty interesting next week. I think he gonna probably catch them out in the parking lot. Now, what would be really nice if Nurse Madison, even though she's I was about to say she, because every time I think of Madison, I think of a female. But anyway, it's a he. Nurse Madison. Now, what would be really, really funny is if him and Jeffrey monkey stomp old Justin in the parking lot of the hospital. That would be really, really, really funny. But anywho, y'all, make sure you guys like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you're coming in late or after the video is totally over, please make sure that you let me know what you think about any of these characters in the story, any of the storylines, or what you think is going to happen with some of the main characters like Jeffrey. What do you think is going to happen to Benny? And also, what do you think Oliver has up his sleeves with Senator Thomas? So make sure you put it in the comment section. So with that being said, everybody, as usual, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay blessed, be safe, and I'm out. Deuces.